So I just left the restaurant after waiting 30 minutes for a date to show up.
30 minutes? What?
And apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I made plans. I picked the restaurant, the day and the time. You know, I've done everything to be just the kind of guy that would value somebody's time.
You cannot expect a shark to bark or a dog to quack. If you were dealing with a woman or a person who is unappreciative or undeserving of quality time from you, to appreciate it, then you're on here crying and sobbing about it. You know why? Because you set yourself up for failure the moment you had this belief in your mind that said to yourself, if I was good enough, if I did enough for her, she would have liked me. And you're setting yourself up for failure. You know why? Maybe there's a value in you or a worth in your actions that she cannot recognize to appreciate. So instead of saying, fuck that, excuse me, my language, excuse her loss. I'm a quality dude. I'm a man of integrity. I'm a man who shows up and supports those that I care about and nourishes and values those important in my life and does nothing but bring joy and solid shit to any environment I am. I'm glossing this up, obviously, but knowing yourself, you can recognize a situation like this and say, you know what? 30 minutes was too much. I would have been gone in 3. 3 minutes. And she'd be charged to the game. But you know what? I take this as the kind of dude who will sit here and argue with her. Why didn't you show up? Why were you late? You could have texted. She would have been cut off immediately. She don't get another chance with the king. Period. This is how you have to carry yourselves. This is how you have to be willing to cut a woman off at the slightest inconvenience of your standard, of your respect, of anything that you consider important. For the next guy, it might be different. For me, maybe my time might be there, my respect, you know, honoring what I do and who I am as a person, period, is different levels to this shit.
Like, I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that I guess is out there for me.
Dog, y'all have to kill this narrative of find my person. We're a perfect match. We're just so perfect. You know why? Because as an individual, you are specific. You have specific needs, specific wants, specific likes and dislikes, specific things that have made you who you are about you as a person. There is no way, just because of the kind of man I've built myself to be, the kind of man I chose to be, that there is a woman perfect for me. This like utopian soulmate mentality, when in reality it doesn't work like that. People adapt, people learn, people grow to become who you want them to be. People can grow into a role or a position. People can be shaped, people can be taught. There's no way I can meet a woman and she's perfect for me because she's never met me before. I have to show her who I am. I have to teach her what I like, what I don't like, and teach her how to be my woman. There's no way I'm going to assume she's going to come made like that because she's never met a guy like me. It's an honor in that. It's an honor in, you know what? I got to show her the ropes around here. I have to. Because she's learned different things from her experiences, whether it be from her parents' life and dating, whether her past dating experiences, whether her homegirls relationships, God forbid, social media. Y'all know all the shit that they be seeing on here. So when it comes to you and your life, it's just, he got this fucking, what they call hopeless romantic vibe. As long as he keeps being a hopeless romantic, he's going to end up on Sucker Street, Loser's Lane, and Simp Sidewalk.
I mean, I want to be somebody's husband someday, father. I'm trying to do everything that's right, and I just get stood up. Like, my feelings didn't even matter. Sitting there eating a meal by myself.
Instead of addressing the loser shit we just heard, I'm going to take this moment to make this point. This is what I have to understand. Women want a man who she recognizes in some way, shape, or form that she wants her son to be like. Let that seep in. Women want a man who in some way, shape, or form she may want her son to be like. Whether she, on the surface level, likes this man. Oh, he's the asshole, he's blah, blah, blah. But you respect him. But you see he's a man of ambition. But you see he's a man of action. So on some level of her being, she recognizes that there's an aspect of this man which would influence her son or her daughter and provide some element that she likes and appreciates to have in that child's life. I say this to say, we're on this date crying, trying to be the Mr. Right guy, when in reality the positioning should be different. The positioning should be, first of all, is this woman worthy enough to receive my children, my seed to begin with? Because as fertile as the seed, as good as the seed is, if I plant my seed in dead soil, not soil with no nutrients, soil that is not worth my seed, I'm doing my children a disservice. Then on top of that, her as a woman, if she plants any seed, weeds or poison ivy in her garden, in her fertile soil, and I'm not talking about fertile as in fertility, quite literally speaking, but fertile as in the woman she's made herself to be, the woman she's turned and evolved herself into be, spiritually, morally, consciously, intellectually, financially, or whatever value she has to offer, right? Because in the atmosphere of the internet, they want it to be so, I'm the prize. No, he's the prize. She's the prize. In reality, the family is the prize. The people we create and the way we influence the next level or the next stage or the next generation of society is the prize. It's not you with your big, nice, fancy watch and fancy car. Because in reality, maybe you are the breadwinner, right? Or maybe you're not. But if you chose that woman to be in your life in a relationship, there was some value she added to your life relative to whatever it was. It doesn't have to be her money. You don't need her to make money, or you don't need her to make a lot, or you don't need her to have the biggest, whatever it is, that value you chose her for makes her valuable towards whatever your goal is. If you're just trying to fuck, I'm not talking about simple stuff like that, because then you might value the looks, you might value the shape of the, because it's valuable relative to that goal. But if we're talking about the condition of a family, brother, like you have to recognize what the bigger picture is and think ahead. And if you will start to position yourself where, you know what, I'm the prize because I got this fat-ass pocket full of money and all that, you're not the prize. Your money is the prize and you're standing on it. So in reality, you're telling that woman that, you know what, find another man who has a bag and you'll be the bigger prize. Instead of, guess what should actually be the prize in yourself. The combination of things that make you you. Your personality, your mindset, your vision, the man you've, again, created yourself to be. I keep talking about this self-creation because I'm not a product of my environment. I'm not a victim of my experiences. I am who I chose to be. And I'll take full claim for myself and my identity. This is how you should move if you're in a dojo. But if you're new here, welcome to the dojo, baby. Now listen, with all this being said, get out of this narrative that society is painting a picture of, because you're never going to be able to think clearly, and you'll begin to look at women and value them high because she's pretty, and you'll begin to look at yourself and value yourself low because you don't have a lot of money, or you're not balling and you don't got that flashy watch and that fancy car and all that shit. When in reality, it's more things worth more than money: manhood, dignity, honor, principles. God forbid I say integrity.
And realizing that nobody even cares about people anymore. Like, alien dating shouldn't even be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to find somebody. It shouldn't be this difficult to fall in love. To be kind to one another. Like,
I'm cutting it off right there. This dude just said fall in love. Fall in love with yourself, playboy. Fuck, man. I don't want her to fall in love. Love, they say, is like, if you base love or to maintain your relationship, they say that honeymoon shit lasts 6 months to 2 years. Your relationship needs to be held off way more than love, because love is an emotion. Love, you can fall in love, you can fall in and out of love like this. It needs to be on the principle, the list of reasons that you value that woman or that person that they've proven to you. This is what y'all should see with my advice. My advice is not dominated by or designated to a male audience. My advice just is what it is. And when we look at a situation like this, not only is he this hopeless romantic, but he's setting himself up for failure. Because let me tell you how the narrative is different from me. If I say it's difficult or hard to find a woman that meets my see, I can't even hold it back. But if I say it's hard dating or hard this, I'm saying it for a different reason. It's hard finding one that meets my standards. It's hard finding one that maintains my intention, because I get bored easily. It's hard finding one that I value or respect. I'm not saying it's hard because none of them like me. I'm gonna respect my value regardless of the circumstance. And I'm gonna give you an example to picture this. Imagine you took one of the most expensive cars in the world, a Bugatti, right? And took it in front of a caveman, right? The caveman will walk right past the car. Is this car any more or any less of a Bugatti? Is it to be recognized any differently because this caveman walked past it, not even realizing that that's not a fucking T-Rex or a pterodactyl? I'm just making shit up, right? That's what y'all do. Y'all look at the caveman walk past and say, "Oh, I'm not a Bugatti. I'm worth nothing." And if you don't recognize your own potential and honor it, who will? And when they don't, that don't mean think anything else. Stand your stake in your foundation and root it in yourself. People's opinions change. People's opinions are often subjective. They can only judge you based on what they can comprehend of you. Another conversation for another day. I can't base my opinion of myself or thought of myself in other people's opinions. They might think too small for me. I don't need none of them. None of the weakness in that. I love y'all, man. Dojo to the moon to Saturn. People tag me in this video, and I wanted to address it. Dojo to the moon to Saturn, and we're leaving the solar system. The LIMPS won't even know we exist. Big 400K pack coming on the way. You dig.